Hi ladies, I'm going to do a quick flip through of how I used my Stalogy as a functional planner and also as a journaling / diary. And prior to showing you ladies, I just want to share a scripture of why I love to plan and have my organized life, because in Proverbs 21:5 it says, "The plans of the diligent lead surely to advantage." And I am living proof that if you have an organized life and you try to have your planners, my daughter was coloring there, but it really helps. So obviously I still live according to what God, instructs me. But when I try to set out my own plans like this, I notice that it helps us be more successful and even remember things. I have here a little dreams page that I left for myself. And so I always like to start the year with a little quote. So the quote for this year was, "Cherish every moment. Each of my heart's desires will be added, but today is a treasure." So here I was 32 years old. So I'm 33 now. And so I wrote 32 things that I was grateful for and happy. And then I wrote what I wanted to memorize for that year, the scripture, which was this one right here. So I did some blessings for my daughter, some little notes. Usually on this goals section, I would have it more elaborated, but I just had this small little section and I wrote little goals for my spiritual, my personal, physical, in another little section. And since I am incorporating the Jewish calendar in here, I found this cute printout of the Jewish holidays. So right up front, I like to have this little page where I can have the birthdays. So right when I'm writing in this monthly overview, I go back here to see what I have to write in the month. So I have the birthdays on top, and then I have like the things that pertain to the Jewish calendar here. And at the bottom, I have like here in July, I had to do an oil change. So whenever, again, I was filling out the July here, I would see it here and remember and add wherever I had time. And how I do, wait, let me just show here. So right after right after the birthdays little area, I have a little presents area where I kind of write in if I think about something that I would like to give the friend or anything, that I write it there so I can remember. And then I have this little sloppy little routine area that I didn't pay too much attention to. I just wanted to keep track of my Bible studies and cleaning routine. This is the one that I did look back at a lot. And here I had a morning routine and an evening routine. I also looked here to make sure I was checking off at the end of each month. I would make sure I did my grateful area and my write in the parsha of the week and calculate my bills. And more importantly, every time the Jewish month begins, I try to have like this little checklist also, which is usually something more, things that I do that are more meaningful than just a secular month. And so for the monthly overview, I still like to cross off each day as I go, and it helps me to number my days like the proverb says. I also like to write a scripture for that month. So this month I had, "For I have given you a good teaching, do not forsake my Torah," Proverbs 4:2. So then I just have every month, I drew the months all out all in advance. That way the rest, like the weekly ones, I could just write it out as I go, but I could always just come to the front and write in whatever I had to remember for that month that wasn't yet logged over here. So right after the monthly overview, how I did the weeks part is So here for example is June, and then in June is this Jewish month. So then I wrote here the priorities for this month, things that I was hoping or excited for, to-dos, and then kind of like a little questionnaire for like self-development. And so here, right after I began the month of June, I draw out all the weeks that are in the month of June, and then I stop when I write grateful for June, and then all the rest of the pages are blank so that I could journal or draw or do whatever I wanted until the next month came. So now let me show you how did I use my weekly part here. And what I really liked is I was able to be functional on top, and then here on the bottom I could be more flexible in whatever I was feeling that week. So up here I was able to put in my appointments or things that were pertaining to that day. And then at the bottom I usually always had this to do and to call. But then on this side I could like do what I like. Here for example, this week I had a little diary, and then here I had a currently list, which is I currently watching, currently listening, how am I feeling and stuff. And so also how I did the Jewish month so that I could just look at a glance and see both calendars at once. So like here it was June 6 and then Sivan 26. So it's like at one glance I can know exactly everything. And then also I really liked adding a word for that week. So either a word that I read in the book or I wanted to implement in my vocabulary, I added that as well. Or like here, for example, my mom was coming into town and I did a list of things that I had to do prior to her arrival. And also something that I like to do was have a little tracker. So here I was doing physical therapy, so then I made little hearts, and every time I would go I would like color in a little heart just to see my progress. So now after the grateful for June, I know that everything else here was what I did, notes that I did on that month of June. So like for example, I wrote little lists like books that I was reading, my finances, miscellaneous trackers like haircut log, maintenance for my car, a running to-do list. And then I like to do little things like this on my planner so that I can have it for memory. So like here with my sister, like we'll say like, let's draw a road with trees. So then she draws whatever on her side and I can't see, and I draw something on my side, and then at the end we look at each other's, and it ends up being really funny to see like what does a road look like to her and mine like this. So I just like to have these little memories. And my baby drew for me, so I glued it in. Just little things like this, so it's like a planner and a journal and a diary all in one. Here I'm passing the pages quick, but it's just because my daughters are here. So I like to do things like this too, like for my daughter, Isla. So then I had like milestone, things that were her favorites, like the tiger potty training video, the celebrate song. So, just little memory things, and then sweet moments, note things that she's doing, just things like that I like to have for memories. And then I wrote, since I was doing my physical therapy, I wrote notes about that. I was also trying to organize myself with meal planning, so I did some notes. So whatever it is during that month that I had to write down or keep track, or like my daughters wanted to paint, so then I let them paint here so that I would have that little memory. And then also I logged the moon cycle here so that I would be able to look back and cut my hair. So if you ladies don't know, if you cut your hair on a growing, almost full moon, it encourages growth and fullness. So I just have different little things that all of these notes I was doing in the month of June. And then when the month of July starts, then obviously the notes or whatever I did stopped, and then begins the same thing. I do the priorities, the things that I'm hoping and excited for, my to-dos, and then again I draw out the whole month just on top here, all the way until the grateful. And then again the whole rest is just for me to do whatever I wanted to do. So then like same thing here, I like to like draw, I like to just do whatever I wanted to do. So then here, for example, I called my grandmother, and I asked her questions. So I, took some notes about that. And then I did here, since I was 32, I put 32 wishes of my heart, and then I did that. So pretty much whatever I wanted to do, I could do. So that's what I really liked about using this Stalogy, is just how I could journal. I really like that. And then I also like to do this sometimes when I had a lot of things to do. Like Thursday, I had a lot of things to do. So then I got this blank paper, and then I put tape here and I glue it in. So that way I have a whole new page within here. I like to do that as well. And then I also like to highlight as I go getting the things done. The way that I check it off is I highlight the whatever it is that I'm doing. So then my babies wanted to draw, so I let them draw. So I just like having all these memories. So that's pretty much how everything else is just the same. Sometimes I'll glue in like little receipts if it's something that's like a special memory. Then I'll do that. Otherwise, everything the same thing. The little tip in for this this little women's event that I went, so then I just put it in here as a memory. And the rest of the planner is all the same. So it's all like this in the same way that I showed you, ladies. And that is how I use my planner, and I really enjoyed this method on this Stalogy. Thanks for watching. God bless you.